Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call the Oroville Citizens Oversight Committee of August 24th, 2021 to order. Madam Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Committee Member Goodson. Here. Committee Member Smith.
Here.
Committee Member Grover. Committee Member Flicker. Here. Committee Member Malone. Here. Committee Member Castro.
Here.
Committee Member Seychow.
Here.
Committee Member Terry. Committee Member Quintel.
Here.
Okay, at this time, let's stand and pledge. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we open the session to public communication on non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone that has submitted a card?
I have not received any public communication.
Okay. So the next item of business is to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2021. Is there any comments? Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have the vote. Oh, we don't have it on there. So you have to roll call vote?
Manually.
Do you want to do a roll call vote?
Yes.
Okay. Committee Member Goodson.
Yes.
Committee Member Smith.
Yes?
Committee Member Grover. Committee Member Flicker.
Yes.
Committee Member Malone. Committee Member Castro.
Yes.
Committee Member Seychow.
Yes.
Committee Member Quintel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item number 2, which is selection of a chair and a vice chair for the 2021-22 fiscal year. And as you can see, I think both our vice chair and chair are not here tonight. So with that being said, it's up to this committee to nominate. Any one of you can do that, nominate someone to chair this committee into the 22 cycle.
I nominate her. My second.
Any discussion?
Is the floor still open for nominations?
And we also need, should we do this one at a time, or can we do both together, coincide? Probably should do one at a time, I think, separated, yeah.
I nominate Pastor Steve Terry.
I have a first and second for Smith. We'll go to vote. Committee Member Goodson.
Fine with me.
Committee Member Smith.
Yes?
Committee Member Flicker.
Yes.
Committee Member Malone. Committee Member Castro.
No.
Committee Member Seychow.
Yes.
Committee Member Quintel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to the vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Steve Terry.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote.
Committee Member Goodson.
Yes.
Committee Member Smith.
Yes?
Committee Member Flicker.
Yes.
Committee Member Malone. Committee Member Castro.
Yes.
Committee Member Seychow.
Yes.
Committee Member Quintel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item number 3, which is revenue and expense for Measure U district tax. And this is a presentation, I believe.
Yes, I just prepared for the committee a handout. I really have to apologize, but we have not got August revenue in yet, so I don't have a full year for you. But have everything through July as far as revenues. You could see that we are already at 143% of our budget, but that's only because we budgeted so low because it was a COVID budget and we really didn't think we were going to be doing that well, but we did. So I'm really expecting August to be at least 500,000. So that's going to, I'll bring that back to you at the next meeting. As far as expenditures, we do accrue things through the end of August, but I don't foresee any more expenses coming through. So this is probably a final, as close as we can get. But I don't know. That could change too, because we do go through the end of August. So anyway, through current, our expenditures to date are $6,929,760, which is 89% of our total budget. So if you take our revenues less expenditures, as it stands, we came pretty close to coming even. We have a $44,000 surplus, but once you add that August revenue in, it's going to be more like, $500,000 or more surplus. So that's still to be determined, but I wanted you to let you know where we are at this time. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't know.
Can you turn your mic on?
Yeah, Committee Member Flicker, yeah.
Okay. Just looking at the actual expenses.
Yeah.
The biggest concern with me is that they're all really low. And is that just not being able to hire staff? Is there some other reason for those numbers being so low?
I would say the biggest reason is vacancies, yeah. We just got 2 new code enforcement officers that will be coming out of this fund, but even then, we've got a grant, so we're probably going to be reimbursed for them. So, yeah, it is definitely for code enforcement. It is position vacancies, police position vacancies, and same for fire. So all the other ones are pretty darn close.
Administration?
That is only one position, and I would have to look into it why it's so low, but it probably wasn't a full year on that position is probably why, but I could look into that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, Committee Member Castro?
Hyla, would you please explain to me how money going in, 1.5 million going into the reserve fund constitutes public safety?
Yeah, I can. So we did a lot of projects. I think out of the capital asset replacement fund, we bought 9 police cars and several vehicles, or one for fire, several public works vehicles. Yeah, so
No, the reserve fund.
the reserve,
It says reserves,
At the
1.5
bottom.
million.
oh, the reserve funds has not been spent.
See, it's budgeted. Okay.
Those are reserved. Those are not spent funds.
So the 1.5 million is actually added to the 44,000?
To the 40, you mean as far as the surplus?
Yes.
No.
Where did the 1.5 million go?
It is a reserved amount of money that cannot be spent and without council approval.
And it's Measure U related reserve funds?
Yes.
Thank you.
I believe we built that in as a kind of monies to be set aside.
Buffer.
Yeah.
In case of unforeseen, issues, related to the budget.
Yeah, and
Things
we
that
discussed this at the last meeting that we probably, once we get to a certain point, we'll probably start lowering it.
But because of the uncertainty with COVID and all of the
Yeah.
various dynamics, it just seemed prudent to have that built in.
Yeah.
Okay, do we?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments? Committee Member Quintel?
On code enforcement, you got 28,000. That hasn't included the 2 new positions that were hired?
No,
Okay.
it did not
And they-
include them yet.
And they created a new, is it actually a department?
They did, a new director for that department, which they're working on a job description right now, so they should be recruiting for that very soon.
I think Belcher's been kind of running that,
Yes, he has.
so he's probably going to be,
It has to be open. The position has to be
Right, right.
flown.
I mean,
That's the
he's,
legal process.
and so, but you have hired 2 other positions.
We have, but like I said, they might be reimbursed through a grant that we got from the actually from the campfire. We applied for a hazard mitigation grant that included code enforcement, and I believe it's up to 1.5 million. So there's a very good chance that that will even be reimbursed, so it won't be an expense
Okay.
on the bottom
I think they were
line.
gonna try and have 6 or 7 people in that position, weren't they?
Yeah,
Hopefully, I'm tired of looking at mattresses and
Yeah.
other things around.
that is the goal.
Had friends in town last week, and we went out of town and then came back down Montgomery Street, and
Yeah,
I was shaking my head going,
yeah, yeah, it is a
it's
problem.
like, yeah, welcome to Oroville, look at this. Montgomery Street looked pretty sad, so,
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything else?
Yeah. Eric, is there, since the switch over from Oroville Fire to CAL FIRE, what are the expenditures going to look like, and how are they going to be dispersed now that we've had anybody answer that question? Just
So the question is the
disbursements.
CAL FIRE going to affect this?
Yeah, what happens? Does it go to CAL FIRE? Does it help that? Through the transition?
So the fire department right now is mostly being paid out of the general fund, and I believe that's where the majority of that contract will be paid out of. You're asking about how the transition is going to go?
Well, I know that there's been a transition, and will that money still, will it, now that it's gonna flow from the city to,
So the transition will be, instead of paying salaries, we'll be paying outside service on a contract.
okay,
So that's the
that's all I was
change.
wondering.
Yeah, and assuming that contract is ratified, I believe that's in June of next year.
Yeah,
So we're still a
Right,
ways
it's
off.
not official.
It's not official
Yeah.
yet, so, that's, quite a ways off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I was asking a question. I just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I have a question in
Sure.
regards to that. We process and
About the what?
disseminate a lot of information. So if I'm asking this question, it's probably already been answered. Approximately 156,000 was, we approved that for a CAL FIRE contract at our last
Oh,
city
correct,
council
for
meeting.
the
So the
dispatch
question-
service.
Yes, right.
Oh,
So the-
right,
So the
okay.
question is, that 156,000, is there a percentage that's coming out of, not at all?
not at
Thank
all.
you.
It's all out of the general fund.
Okay.
This
Wonder why
committee-
we didn't look at that. Oh, well.
Committee Member Castro?
I am going to go down in history as the champion of the Portland Loo. And I know it's in our budget. I'm at the Parks Commission and we talk about it on here. Do you have an idea when they might be purchased and installed?
I believe they've been ordered.
Been purchased?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can ask Don for more information if you need
Yeah.
more.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I did ask that question. I understand that they have been purchased. We're just awaiting their arrival, essentially. Yeah, and the contractors to do the install.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, Cecilia knows more about it. She says they're back ordered.
That's okay, that's okay.
They're in the hopper, as they say. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
I have one question. It's not an agenda item, agenda-sized, but are we short a member on this committee? And is that person being filled?
I'm not sure what the plans are for filling that position.
Is it one or two?
I believe it's 2.
I know that the request went out. Has that been evaluated by the staff yet? Or their responses?
To fill the position, I think that would be the city administrators that we'll have to get with him and see what the plans are for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can speak to that
Okay,
somewhat.
thank
So,
you.
yeah, and that we are, I believe, putting that back out, soliciting. So if you know of anyone that's interested, they can certainly fill out an application with the city.
Thank you.
Yes. Mhm.
Right. The submission rate was extremely low. So we're going to fly it again.
Right.
How's that?
So if anyone's listening, we certainly can, you have that sense of a call to civic duty, please step forward. Super. Well, anything else? right. Get the adjournment. Looking for the. Yeah, that's not, we don't have it on here, the next meeting date?
No,
Okay.
I count on Jackie for all that, so she can email you.
Okay, well, this is a very quick meeting. Yeah.
Well, I have it. Well, if you want.
Yeah, it's quarterly, so it should be in 3 months.
It's the fourth Tuesday,
Just normally it's,
November. It is Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. I did confirm.
I would-
with Jackie. Sorry, sure enough is, yeah.
I would
So-
venture to say to be determined.
Yeah, I will do
Because it's
that.
holidays.
Right.
And holidays, it's
we
it's
could end
fluid.
up, yeah, so I'll just,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now it's coming back to me. She said for us to discuss it at this meeting, so
Ab-
sorry.
okay.
I vote we move it to the
Of November?
Shall we look at that? Shall we look at the calendar, Ruth?
Okay. I'll have Jackie send an email and see how that works for everybody.
I
For the 30th? So
30th.
let's do that. Let's
Right.
just with a suggested date
Okay.
of the 30th of November?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
really
we'll
wish
just
this
do that as
meeting.
everybody go with- as an advisement, but I'll just
Okay.
adjourn the meeting as to be determined at this
Okay.
time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish this meeting was just a couple days later, because I would have had the sales tax information. I thought I was gonna get it on the 24th, but it comes in anywhere from the 24th to the 26th, so I hate giving you an incomplete report, but
Okay, so,
Did just fine.
so we'll adjourn this meeting at 6:17. The next meeting will be determined upon an email. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Ta-ta.
I was worried I was gonna get hungry before it was over.
Yeah, I think we